Crap, I'm in Miami. What am I gonna do here? You can't enter the dark forest without knowing where you are heading towards. Okay, so today, we're gonna have a lecture about managing time pressure. Regardless about your level, many of you have actually encountered this kind of problem, and so many times I've heard about, I played a good game, I'm winning, and then somehow I mess up and I'm dead. I lose game. So sad. If you want to get the most out from this lecture today, imagine it is as if you are now in the middle of your game and you are under time pressure. You need to feel like it. So later, for example, when we are doing practice, I will say 30 seconds quickly. You need to be able to react accordingly. The number one thing actually I want to tell here is many people actually says, well, I'm in Miami now. Crap, what am I gonna do? My Miami is bad. I can't do it. I'm gonna lose. The moment when you give your mind this kind of signal, likely you will lose. Well, not necessarily. You might win it. In case if the opponent give himself exactly the same signal, and in case if he's also in Miami, well, then basically that's a lottery. So number one thing, do not give yourself negative signal. Okay, you should tell yourself, I'm capable to manage. It's difficult, but I can do it. You must tell yourself this. Without this premise, nothing I'm gonna mention in the following helps. You may not really be good on, let's say, fast reading or handling complicated situations in Miami. You may not, but you must give yourself some confidence. Human brain actually works in a mysterious way that we haven't discovered yet. When you give yourself confidence, you tell yourself, yes, I can do it. I can manage it. Somehow you actually exploit some extra ability you haven't found of yourself. So this is number one thing. And I want to emphasize again, there's nothing more important than this. Okay, then I'm going to go down to number two. Can you imagine in Miami you have this kind of phenomenon? Crap, I'm in Miami. What am I going to do here? Yeah, okay, this is very difficult. You just complain, and then time has passed, and then suddenly it counts down. 10, 9, 8, 7, and you are pushed to play a move, and then I say, crap, okay, how can I possibly play here? I don't know what I was thinking. So let's say Miami, let's take it as 30 seconds. Nobody really has 30 seconds, including the top pro. They don't really have 30 seconds because normally when it comes down to 25, 28, you have to play. So basically around that time, you are basically pushed to make a decision. I need to play. But to a good Miami player, you do have 25. But when you complain and the time passed by here, so in other words, you are in panic and you actually spend your time to deal with your emotions. You don't really have 25 seconds. So it is important before you enter Miami, you are already prepared. So here I'm about to enter Miami. What am I gonna do in general? And then in that 25 seconds, think about the goal only. Just think about the goal. You actually will notice you do have a lot of time. 25 seconds is actually a lot. But if you actually spend your time on those other things, of course you don't. Then that's like a police game. Those who are, let's say, in real life more emotional has the more difficulty on handling this. And those who is capable to think, okay, this is the right thing to do, I have to do it regardless how I feel, they have easier time. Not like if you are emotional, you can't. It's just harder. Because your work is basically to actually put your mind above your mood, to control your mood at that moment, and then you're going to have enough time to think. This is the second thing I want to tell. Okay, and then, okay, in general, you need to know what you should do in Miami. In general, I need to make a decision quickly on how I'm going to drive this country towards the next tough period of time. In general, where might this boat we're going to run towards? How do you know where? So it is important you know what is the board situation. Am I leading or behind? In general, by how much? In general, in the following game, how am I going to play? And then have at least a general plan, if not very specific. I think Oscar can actually handle it by, like say, 30 seconds. He can actually do a quick counting and he can actually know about board situation. But too many of you, probably you have a difficulty. That is why my recommendation is normally 2 to 3 minutes before you enter bell. I mean, you notice, okay, I'm 2 to 3 minutes ahead. You have to count, and not just counting, you also need to look into where are the potential territories, the potential. You also need to look into where are the weak groups, and also where potentially there can be a weak group. For example, there's a cutting point. There's a relatively weak shape in the center, like a two-space jump, which potentially can be separated. So that can be later where the opponent can come to assault. Look into those potential blind spots, define it. Those 2 to 3 minutes, you need to do all those work, and then after you gather the whole report, then have your best guess. Okay, so like this, in general, what is the whole board situation? Am I confident to win from here? And if I'm confident, in general, what I should do? In general, if I'm not, what I should do? Just think about it. If you're behind, what are you gonna do? You see in front of you, there is a bank. That's everybody's dream. If there's one bank that can solve all your problem and you just need to concentrate on think about, okay, how am I gonna work out on this bank? Okay, all solved. But sadly, I should tell, sadly, in most of the cases, when we are behind, in front of us, we don't see a bank. We see a store. The money that is in that grocery store, you take them all, it still doesn't really compensate your deficit on the board. It doesn't matter. There will be another one, hopefully. Yeah, and then you look for the next one. So here, either one bank or several stores. In most of the cases, you need to be patient and look for store by store. Sometimes even if you find a bank, you can't really take all the money from there. And then that is one bank, one store, or one bank, another bank, but still little by little. You can see you only have one direction to go. That is, I need to rope. So that is easier. The difficult part might be, what if I'm leading? For example, you think you are leading, and then you say, if I take this way, it is unclear, there's a risk, and I might actually lose all my leading because of this. Then if you have an alternative not to enter, you prefer to choose that way. But otherwise, remember, it is important you play normal. You play normal. Then in that 2 to 3 minutes, you will actually look into, do I have any bank the security system can be problematic? Do I have any store that the opponent might actually aim at? But if, as your judgment, it is defined as safe, and then you do not really add extra guard there. So you can't play safer, you still play normal. Because I have seen some of my students who tries to play safer in the second half of the game when he was leading, eventually lost the game. His opponent just robbed one store by another and eventually overcome the deficit. And if you say, okay, it is basically even, okay, that's actually also relatively easy because you just play go, you just play normal. I actually take the criteria as if I'm slightly leading, I take it as if it is dead even. All those is actually based on you are calm, okay? You are not emotional, and you know the whole board situation in general. You know the bank, the store, their location, the financial situation there. This is basically all the tasks you need to do before you enter Yomi. Your mind needs to be very clear on what you have to do. You can't enter the dark forest without knowing where you are heading towards. Okay, so then I'm gonna show the first example. You are black in this game, and please look at the whole board situation and tell me how is it. Okay, in the past 2 to 3 minutes, I believe you have done the counting. Question here is how is the whole board situation? Who is ahead? And how do you describe about, let's say, how much he's ahead? Is he far ahead, slightly ahead, or even, or slightly behind, far behind, like that? I hope you also pay attention on specific. Let me ask a question here. So what is the status of white E18 group on top left corner? Yeah, is that group white just dead, or is there still something? Yeah, I guess you can see a code, right? So that group is not dead yet. In other words, that part of the territory, when we count for black territory, you can't count it all for black yet. Next question here. Does black need to take risk to invade white right side? Yeah, so we first need to actually notice this kind of, I call it uncertainties, and define it. Okay, imagine now you already know about the board situation. Now you're in bed, you mean 30 seconds. Where are you gonna play? 30 seconds now. Okay, then what do you think about in the game, black play this evasion? What do you think? On this board situation, consider here, earlier you have already made the judgment. Black is ahead here in this game. I want to tell you there are multiple ways black can win the game. I just reduce and I have a content I can win it, or I have a content I can reduce to win it. You just play this and then the following it will be end game and you play normal, fine. Or if you say, okay, I'm not so confident and then I read a little bit here and I want to invade here, I can live. That is also fine. The worst thing here you can do is, I don't know about the situation, and I just played a move here to reduce because this looks safe and I wouldn't die. And what is the situation? I don't know. How am I gonna play the following game? I don't know. Or I didn't really count about the board. I just feel like he cannot have the entire right side. I invade here. Can I leave? I don't know. That's the worst. Here I can already tell this shoulder will be my move. But here, to me, this Kema is fine. This one is slightly slow, but probably this is fine too. Or if you play here and you read it, fine too. Yeah, in general here, if this happens, I'm pretty optimistic about this black. Of course, white will gonna fight against me. And for example, at some point, try to trigger the top left corner call. There still will be fight. There will still be complication. And that is why earlier I have emphasized, even if we are leading in the game, we need to try to play normal, not like we're gonna play safer. We don't want safer because that's a waste of money. We can't afford it. Okay, let's do the second practice. 3 minutes to tell me in general what is the board situation, and later I will have some specific question you also need to be able to answer. And you are black here. Okay, here I have an important question here. On the top, around the N18 two stones, is there anything white can do there? After black attack and white nobby, this moment black has to already define, in theory, what might happen and what might hurt. Our time to think about the top side as a procedure shouldn't be included inside those 3 minutes, rather this moment. Here, as for territory, it's actually hard to say. But black basically have a, in general, dominating position, but still needs to be careful to control this game. So 30 seconds, now tell me the move. In general, we put our eyes towards the left side, is right. And when it really comes to this, first is actually this call. And also black doesn't have to trip the call here. Now if black feel like this call looks risky and I'm not confident to win it, you cannot come back here. When white take the call here, you don't have to answer it because at the most he take again, right? And you can still play on the left side. Even though this problem exists, it doesn't mean black is immediately in danger or black will need to already fix it. I also have to rule out the top left corner Sansan invasion because here we are still in attack and defense situation. We need to attack white left side in order to enhance the black center, and then black center wouldn't be in trouble, and then K18 will be limited as an endgame. This jump, that's in general the right direction. This attachment, this is my move. Here, territory is secondary. How strong and how weak the groups are actually crucial. So if your plan is, okay, if white press at A, I'm just gonna enter the corner. That cannot happen. Here, nobody cares about money because people's life is in danger. We have to care about health. Okay, let's come to the next one here. 3 minutes countdown now. Okay, yeah, so here we are in a very difficult position here because white's bottom group is suddenly dead. This move gave white a shock. And white is actually taking his time to think and actually kind of run out of his time to actually think about what to do next, and so entered the Bayomi. You know, here it is actually very important to think about how does black feel. Imagine you are in a game and you say, here, I am clearly ahead. Oh crap, okay, I had better not mess up this game. I'm at this position. I can't lose this one. Let's be careful, let's not mess up. And when the opponent is feeling like that, here, this is actually our opportunity. That basically means as soon as we hold a toy gun into the store, the owner will immediately hand out all his cash and run away. He wouldn't even check what kind of gun it is. Let's look clearer. He wouldn't look at it. He would just gonna say, I don't want to die, and I will gonna give the money. Okay, now 30 seconds, count down. Time. Play your move, please. I hope you have a plan when you play on top right corner. Here, you can't just say, okay, I need to rob something. Let's just rob without any planning. So Q18, probably I wouldn't support it because I can't see how it survives. F12 is actually appreciated. F12 is the attitude kind of facing to reality and just say, I get every single cent count. So can I get F12 and then push backwards a little bit? Of course, okay, if black plays falling everything correctly, there's no chance for white. So white will need to rely on black some sort of help. So in the game, white plays this one. Okay, here if black is very careful and black plays the peep, there's nothing. But okay, here you can see white is tricking. But white trick needs to be something you can see that, okay, the opponent might actually fall to my trap. You need to be able to see that. And here, just a tip to people who said, okay, so here the opponent likely set a trip on what I'm gonna do here. Normally, please remember, let's say likely the most obvious move is the one that he is hoping you to play. So here, white really want black to Atari. When you have a limited time, you say, okay, I can't figure out what's wrong with the Atari yet, but I have a limited time. But here, likely this is what he wants. Do I have an alternative? This is normally a good idea. So you can see this one, then I guess you'll see white trick, white go here and cut. So like this, white have, I call it a theoretical opportunity. I'm gonna quickly show the very last one and let's directly into the procedure. 3 minutes, what is the situation? Okay, timeout. Okay, so when you say black okay here, I guess here one uncertainty is clearly black left side group is not alive. Imagine black next we're going to settle his group and then white next move. Where are the big moves available? Yeah, this is something you have to define it before you say, okay, I'm just going to take care of my group. Because it's important that before Bayomi, you know what is my task in the following game. Okay, let's count 30 seconds. Now. Play your move now, play your move. You wouldn't be timed out if you say, okay, let's prepare something here, for example, 8 times Suji. If black just take care of the group, very likely that we're gonna consolidate the bottom left corner and it can directly become white territory. This is something worth worrying. So black idea is to make sure that the corner wouldn't directly be white territory first before you make the outside stronger. So in the game, black plays this one. And then white honey here, black double honey. In the game, white play this one, and it's something black is very happy about because when black Atari here, in the future, when needed, black Atari here, tiger, this is Sene, and white go back here, black has this kind of Sene, black leaves, right? So at this moment, black Tanuki and take care of the group. Yeah, so here there's something about details. It is mainly about, for example, here, the honey, this one Sene, is white this turn Sene to thread black. And then if this one is Sene, then let's say you with San can you still survive. In general, if your mind is clear on, okay, the game is fine, I just need to mainly take care of my group. I guess you reach this kind of conclusion and you take care of your group is in general right. Yeah, I have already mentioned about in theory, when you're under time pressure, how you're supposed to manage that and the procedure, and we have practiced 4 times on it. 4 times is not enough. You need at least 40 times. So please practice this and just exactly follow this. And please also remember, your biggest enemy is your emotions. So the number one thing is to make sure your mind dominates. And then you are capable to think about, okay, so here it is already approaching to Bayomi. I need to follow this procedure. In the future, Bayomi wouldn't be something you worry about. Rather, that is your strong part and that's somewhere you can win your games. Thanks.